Good afternoon, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Earlier this week, E298 and I were on the floor of the House of Representatives.
Hello, this is Dr. Jeff Kim, and excited to head on out to San Francisco today. So I'm at John Wayne Airport, about to launch off to San Francisco to attend the National Asian Pacific Islander Elected Officials Conference that's happening out there. When I was young, I've mentioned in the past, I've never had a teacher that looked like me or a school board member, or I don't even remember an elected official, but I was excited to get an invitation and also attend this event. I did attend a regional one in the past, and it was good to see some of the topics that were raised, including topics around the surge in anti-Asian racism, or topics like ethnic studies and Asian American studies. Wow, this is so cool. Directly connected to the SFO airport is actually the BART station. So I got this Clipper card, and so I'm trying to move from San Francisco to Powell Street. So today I wanted to talk about my 3 takeaways from the National API Elected Officials Summit. The first topic is going to be on how representation matters. The second is on using your voice to tell your story. And the third is using your voice to do something good. So attending the API Elected Officials Summit, wow, I just saw representation like I've never seen before. So many Asian American leaders and community leaders as well.
Good afternoon, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Earlier this week, E298 and I were on the floor of the House of Representatives.
To chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, or what we call KPAC. I'm so excited to join all of you at this critical summit.
Congressman from New Jersey. I'm so glad to be able to just come in here for a little bit. Some of you I know, many of you I don't, so great to be able to connect.
So many of these representatives representing, so important to have a seat at the table. Although there are many more today, for a long time there were not, and we still probably do not have the same kind of representation that's reflective more of our own community. So sometimes I think Asian Americans, they take their diversity for granted. When the 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act was passed, there weren't any Asian Americans in legislative office that could have said something or spoken up. Or when the Japanese Americans were interned during World War II, the same. Fortunately, we have more representation, and we saw that surge in anti-Asian racism in 2020 with also the COVID-19 pandemic, where efforts were made to dehumanize Asian Americans. And as we look ahead and think about how policies and politics can sometimes dehumanize, that can often result in a surge and an increase in anti-Asian racism. And so therefore the representation matters, someone to speak up, someone to stand in the gap and represent. Oftentimes what that does is that helps to whereas there are efforts to dehumanize Asian Americans, it helps to then humanize Asian Americans and tell the story. Then my second takeaway was using your voice to tell your story. So there are so many stories that were shared, and these stories from Asian Americans were so powerful. And once again, a reminder that as these stories are shared, and not just from Asian Americans, but all Americans, the more that these stories are shared, we're going to find out the more that they unite us rather than divide us. That's something that was very powerfully shared by Lily Wu, Mayor-elect of Wichita, Kansas. And then finally, using your voice to do something good. For many Asian Americans, oftentimes they're known for working hard, and that's a stereotype, but oftentimes that's a stereotype that's out there. But I think Asian Americans should also be known for speaking out in a good way, speaking out in a compassionate way, but also speaking out. Sometimes when you just only work hard, that's actually a good way to just stay where you are. So knowing how to use your voice, knowing how to speak out. In fact, when we think about our democracy, a part of it is using our voice for good, speaking out, and once again, in civil and compassionate ways, but then definitely knowing how to use our voice So a lot of great takeaways from this conference. First, that representation matters. Second, to do something good with your story. And then third, using your voice to tell your story. Thank you, Andy Lee, and so many of others who put this National API Elected Officials Summit together. These are some great takeaways for myself.